Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees. So I have great pleasure to welcome all of you for this session on Nectar of Instruction. We have already been able to cover 7 shlokas. Today we shall try to cover both 8 and 9. I am a little greedy, but let us see how it works out. But can any of the devotees in 2 minutes summarize all the 7 shlokas that we have read so far? Shloka wise, each shloka you should describe in few words, that's all. Like that you should cover 7 shlokas. Let us see. Any volunteers? Or you can do 1 shloka, another devotee can do 2nd shloka, even that is okay with me. Please start with shloka number 1. Anyone?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I'll start with the first sloka, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
The first sloka describes about the urges to control.
Yes.
One who controls 6 urges, he can become a spiritual master. So I'll tell the sloka, Prabhuji.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, no, not required. Not okay. So 6 urges to control to become a spiritual master.
Yes.
But who becomes a spiritual master? Today he is a disciple, tomorrow he becomes a spiritual master. That is how the succession, every spiritual master is also a disciple. Even Krishna has a guru, even Rama has a guru, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has a guru. So a spiritual master is also a disciple. So we should not think, oh, spiritual master should control these urges. It is not for me. I am only an ordinary neophyte devotee. We should not think like that, because these are the qualities we should also adopt, so that we will progress on the path to someday be a spiritual master. Because the aim of Krishna consciousness mission is to distribute this knowledge to every town and village, so that everyone will start chanting the holy names of the Lord. So all of us have to take on this burden of being a spiritual master someday, in this life or in another life. So we should all be serious in controlling these 6 urges. We should not think, oh, this is the qualification for a spiritual master, so for me, all these are not applicable. We should not make that mistake. Thank you, Mataji. 2nd shloka, Kalikumar Ghosh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. 2nd shloka tells us 6 prohibitive activities or attitudes.
Yes.
And they are Tyahara, Prayasa, Prajalpa, Niyamagraha, and association of non-devotees, and greedy activities.
So
these 6 things we should avoid.
They will destroy bhakti.
That will destroy our, yes.
So we should give up these 6 things. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Who will speak next? 3rd shloka.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, may I try?
Yes, Mataji.
This is the 6 pure devotional service which devotees should take up. Just like
okay.
yes, that is the Utsaha Nishchet Dairyat Tat Karma Pravartanat. That is, he should have that enthusiasm to and the confidence which he should have, the patience he should have.
6 things that will help bhakti flourish.
And that
the 2nd shloka, 6 things that will destroy bhakti. 3rd shloka, 6 things that will help bhakti to flourish. Prasiddhyati. Thank you, Mataji. Please speak about 4th shloka.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
Sumati Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. In the 4th sloka, it is said about the relationship to be developed between the devotees, and the love exchanged between the devotees by offering gifts and accepting gifts, and expressing their heart to the devotee, and accepting the prasada. These kind of loving exchanges between devotees.
Yes, basically 3 pairs of exchanges: giving gift, receiving gift, opening the heart, allowing the other devotee to open the heart to us, and feeding prasadam, accepting prasadam. So 6 kinds of exchanges that will help the devotional relationship to flourish. Priti, Lakshanam. Shadvidam Priti Lakshanam. 6 ways in which love is expressed between devotees, which means these 6 types of exchanges should not be done with non-devotees, at least not with engagement of heart. These 6 engagements, they open our heart like that. So this is for helping devotional relationships to grow and flourish. Thank you. So next is 5th shloka.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I'll try.
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Mataji. Yes.
One should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of Lord Krishna, that is, who has taken Diksha and who is given the seva of deity worship. We should, a pure devotee is given. So we should mentally also not just.
No. For those people, we should offer Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Someone has
Ma'am,
taken
please.
Diksha and performing deity worship, we should offer Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Yeah. For even a beginner devotee who is just a neophyte devotee, who is just chanting the name of Krishna, we should offer them mentally respect, worship. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Then,
Not clear, Prabhuji, now, actually, because now it is very clear. When you said. And
then
one should associate with faithfully serve the pure devotee who is advanced and undeviated devotional
Correct.
service,
correct.
whose heart is completely devoid of propensity to criticize others. I
Yes.
have read from the translation. Sorry.
But you have understood the point.
Understood. Yes.
The 4th shloka, see, when you start 4, 5, 6, this is all about devotees. It's all about devotees. 4th shloka, loving exchanges among devotees. 5th shloka, how to differentiate between devotees in order to give them respect accordingly, suitably, appropriately.
Yes, Prabhuji.
You
That
must
difference.
make distinctions between advanced devotees, Madhyama devotees, and beginner level devotees, and also innocent people and envious people. And we have to deal with them accordingly. When you learn these things, you progress from being a Prakrita Bhakta, a materialistic Bhakta, to being a Madhyama Bhakta, when you can make distinctions. So in this shloka, we are taught to make distinction between devotees based on their level of advancement or based on the level of Krishna consciousness. Beginning Krishna consciousness, intermediate stage of Krishna consciousness, Uttama level of Krishna consciousness, no Krishna consciousness but innocent and envious to Krishna. So these distinctions, this is what 5th shloka. 6th shloka is what? Why there is so much silence?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, please.
A devotee should not look down on another devotee because he is low born or he's not looking good or anything like that.
Correct.
Because a devotee cannot be you cannot look at him from the materialistic point of view, because such imperfections may be prominent in the body, but the pure devotee cannot be polluted.
Wonderful. So, what is the link between the previous shloka and this shloka? Between 5 and 6?
Prabhuji, in the previous shloka, it is for our benefit. So the more and more we involve with the people who are envious to Krishna, there are chances that our bhakti gets spoiled. And we should be able to associate with the devotees, like-minded people, and who are where our bhakti does not get.
Yeah, it's a fact. But the point that I am trying to make, I said 4, 5, and 6 are relating to devotees. 4th is about 6 types of exchanges. 5th is about making distinctions among Vaishnavas based on their level of Krishna consciousness, which is internal. How advanced a devotee is in Krishna consciousness, accordingly we should offer them respect. We should not treat a Uttama Adhikari and a Kanishta on the same platform. That is an offense. Very exalted Vaishnava and a beginner Vaishnava, we cannot respect them on the same platform. It's actually an offense. So that is why we have to make these distinctions. That means we have to know how much developed a Vaishnava is through our interactions. So that is the point in 5. In 6, we are told, don't go by external symptoms. Oh, this person's tilak is so perfectly drawn. This person has a very beautiful face. This person is wearing well-pressed, clean clothes. This person is from a Brahminical family. This person is looking very attractive, or is very powerful, or famous, or influential. Not such criteria. This person is highly educated. This person is from USA, from a very exalted family. None of these things should be applied on a Vaishnava. So the difference between 5 and 6. 5 is about making distinctions among Vaishnavas based on their level of progress in Krishna consciousness. 6th sloka is about not making distinctions among Vaishnavas based on their external symptoms, on their external designations. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Between 5 and 6. 5 says make distinction. 6 says don't make distinction. But they are in two different contexts. Make
Prabhuji,
distinction based on the level of exaltation. Don't make distinction based on external criteria. Vaishnava means he's beyond a Brahmana also. How can you say somebody is a Sudra Vaishnava or a Brahmana Vaishnava? That means your consciousness is very materialistic, very external. Once somebody has become a Vaishnava, he has gone beyond a Brahmana also. So how can you say he's a Sudra Vaishnava? That's greatly offensive. So that is the same way we are given the example of Ganga. Ganga, even if it is dirty, polluted, so many dirty things are floating, it's become very muddy or very frothy, or bubbles are there. Still, devotees will take bath in that Ganga, realizing that it is always pure. Like that, a Vaishnava is always pure. Yeah? Any doubts?
Prabhuji, in that
sorry.
fifth shloka,
Yeah,
fifth
one by
shloka,
one.
Prabhuji.
Yes. Yeah.
In that there are envious of Krishna. So you said, Prabhuji, like we have to discriminate on the progress of bhakti. So
Yeah.
the people who are envious will not
Avoid
perform
them.
bhakti at all.
Envious people, you avoid them because they will do offense. Innocent people, you preach to them in compassion, teach them Krishna consciousness. And then when you come to the devotees, you see Kanishta Bhakta, Madhyama Bhakta, Uttama Bhakta, and respect them accordingly.
Yes, Prabhuji, understand.
So, Hare Krishna. Yes,
Prabhuji,
Lakshmi. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji, that 4th shloka, that is the exchange of all the 6 things.
Yes.
Should it be only between the devotee and a devotee, or it can be a neophyte or a person who is not a devotee with one person who is a devotee and the other one is not a devotee?
Yeah, this is ideally between devotees.
Okay.
The 6 types of exchanges. But when you are doing an exchange with a non-devotee, you should be very careful to only give your association, but not take their association.
Okay. Okay.
A devotee association is good for a non-devotee, but a non-devotee association is not good for a devotee. You know, it is Janasanga. Janasanga is not good. You know, it destroys bhakti. So, Prabhupada says,
Right.
should not do the 6 types of exchanges with non-devotees.
Okay. Okay. But later on, they become a devotee, just like,
Very
because
good.
I'm saying
Then you can,
prasada, giving the honoring prasada to them, then
Yes.
automatically it changes. I've
yes,
seen
yes.
that myself. That's why I'm asking for it.
Yeah, but the only point is we should be very careful to know our heart.
Okay.
Oh, I like this person. They are a very famous film personality. Tomorrow, if they become a devotee, everybody will praise me. So I will do this. Materialistic consideration should not come.
Okay.
We should be very careful, our own inner motives.
Okay.
So you should prefer to have these exchanges with devotees rather than non-devotees.
Okay.
But if you think it will help this particular individual to progress in Krishna consciousness, you can do it while carefully protecting your consciousness from getting polluted. Yeah.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
So in the next shloka, we saw, in the 7th shloka, we saw about the glories of the holy name. Why I don't have taste now? I don't have taste now. Ajit Prabhu, you want to speak? Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, sorry, I had a doubt.
Yeah.
Is it in this sloka? Can we interpret it like if we are following all these 5 slokas and we are trying to understand, and then we reach this sloka, 6th sloka tries to help us evaluate like whether you had reached the Shuddha Bhakti stage, wherein you are having that soul consciousness, wherein you are not trying to evaluate devotees with their bodily defects or all those things. So is that perception or that angle can be brought in?
It can be, but what is more important is this is a guidance for, we are all beginning level devotees. So for us, it is a warning, it's a caution that be careful, don't do these mistakes. Because we have come from a materialistic standard into a spiritual standard. By coming into Krishna consciousness, we are moving into a spiritual standard. But our swabhava is still with us. It has not gone, right? The anarthas born out of swabhava, they have not left us. We still have the tendency, if somebody comes in a Mercedes
Very
car
well.
and the chauffeur opens the door and somebody walks out in coat, suit and all, immediately we feel like, offering our worship to them.
Always
Whereas
there.
somebody in the dhoti, dirty dhoti, he comes to the temple, okay. That tendency is still there with us. That is why we are told, hey, don't make a distinction between devotees like this. It will be a great offense. A Brahmin, a Brahmin Vaishnava will naturally speak very nice Sanskrit. He will quote nice shlokas. He will remember many things. And deity worship, he may have a higher standard because of his Brahminical background. But that doesn't make him a higher Vaishnava, you see. External symptoms never make a superior Vaishnava. It is purely internal symptoms. So we should be very careful with the tendency of discriminating Vaishnavas based on external symptoms. Even though those external symptoms may be marks of devotion only. Having a nice shikha, wearing the dhoti nicely, nice tilak, quoting shlokas profusely from Bhagavad Gita with impeccable pronunciation of Sanskrit texts. He is a great Vaishnava. That mistake Vaishnava. Is it clear, Prabhu? The distinction is purely based on the level of advancement in Krishna consciousness. Okay. So in the next shloka, it's about the diseased condition of a conditioned soul. And because of the disease which is compared to jaundice, there is no taste for the holy name. And by repeatedly, regularly chanting the holy name, the disease will get cured and they will get a taste for the holy name itself. So what was initially taken as a bitter medicine now becomes a tasteful feast for them. Same Mahamantra, which was bitter, now becomes very tasty. So there is really no fault with the Mahamantra, which is like sugar candy. Sugar candy is a prescribed medicine for jaundice. In the same way, holy name is the prescribed medicine for the disease of ignorance from which all of us are suffering. Under ignorance, we have no taste for the holy name. Still, if we go on chanting the holy name, we will develop that taste. Okay. So now we move on to the next shloka. In this process, 22 minutes have gone. I thought I will do it shortly. Anyway, it is the Lord's will. Let us go to the 8th shloka now. Slowly, we will read it 3 times. Please read along with me softly. Tannamarupa charitadi sukirtananu. Again, I will read slowly. Tannamarupa charitadi sukirtinanu. Smrityo kramena rasana manasi niyojya. Tishtan vraje tadanuragi jananugami. Kalam naye dakilamit upadesha saram. See, the title is coming here. Upadesha saram. Upadesha amritam. Tannamarupa charitadi sukirtananu. Smrityo kramena rasana manasi niyojya. Tishtan vraje tadanuragi jananugami. Kalam naye dakilam yit upadesha saram. Translation. The essence of all advice, this is upadesha saram. The essence of all advice is that one should utilize one's full time. Prabhupada is explaining 24 hours a day. Not that sleeping hours, I will cut it out. 24 hours a day in nicely chanting and remembering the Lord's divine name, transcendental form, qualities, and eternal pastimes, thereby gradually engaging one's tongue and mind thereby gradually engaging one's tongue and mind. In this way, one should reside in Vraja. This is the way to reside in Vraja, Goloka Vrindavana Dhama, and serve Krishna under the guidance of devotees. 24 hours by mind and tongue, we should chant the names and form and glories of Krishna and live in Vraja under the guidance of devotees and serve Krishna. One should follow in the footsteps of the Lord's beloved devotees in Goloka, Lord's beloved devotees, who are deeply attached to his devotional service. What is the symptom of a devotee? Attached to devotional service to Krishna and to his devotees. You should get attached to them and follow in their footsteps. Yeah, now one of you can read the purport, the whole purport, and then we will discuss. Right.
May I, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Since the mind may be one's enemy or one's friend, one has to train the mind to become his friend. The Krishna consciousness movement is especially meant for training the mind to be always engaged in a Krishna's business. The mind contains hundreds and thousands of impressions, not only of this life but also many, many lives of the past. These impressions sometimes come in contact with one another and produce contradictory pictures. In this way, the mind's function can become dangerous for a conditioned soul. Students of psychology are aware of the mind's various psychological changes. In Bhagavad Gita 8.6, it is said, Yama Yama Vapi Smarana Bhavama Tyajyati Ante Kalevarama Tama Tama Aiviti Konteya Sada Tada Bhava Bhavitaha. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail. At that time of death, the mind and intelligence of a living entity creates a subtle form of a certain types of body for the next life. If the mind suddenly think of something not very congenial, one has to take a corresponding birth in the next life. On the other hand, if one can think of Krishna at the time of death, he can be transferred to the spiritual world, Goloka Vrindavan. This process of transmigration is very subtle. Therefore, Srila Rupa Goswami advises devotees to train their mind in order that they will be unable to remember anything other than Krishna. Similarly, the tongue should be trained to speak only of Krishna and to taste only Krishna prasada. Srila Rupa Goswami further advises Tishtana Vraje. One should live in Vrindavana or any part of a Vrajbhumi. Vrajbhumi or the land of Vrindavana is supposed to be 84 kroshas in area. One krosha equals 2 square miles. When one makes Vrindavana his resident, he should take shelter of an advanced devotee there. In this way, one should always think of Krishna and his pastime. This is further elucidated by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.294. Krishnam Smaranam Janam Chasya Pristhama Nija Samihitama Tata Tata Katha Ratasa Chasau Kuriyada Vasama Vraje Sada. A devotee should always reside in the transcendental realm of Raja and always engage in a Krishnam Smaranam Janam Chasya. Pristhana, the remembrance of Sri Krishna and his beloved associates by following in the footsteps of such associates and by entering under their guidance. One can acquire an intense desire to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Again, Srila Rupa Goswami stated in a Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.295, Seva sadhaka rupena siddha rupena chatrahi tada bhava lipasuna karya vraja lokanusarataha. In the transcendental realm of Vrajadhama, one should serve the Supreme Lord, Shri Krishna, with a feeling similar to that of his associates, and one should place himself under the direct guidance of a particular associate of Krishna and should follow in his footsteps. This method is applicable both in the stage of sadhana, spiritual practices educated while in a stage of bondage, and in the stage of sadhya, God realization, when one is a siddha purusha or a spiritual perfect soul. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura has commented as follows upon this verse: one who has not yet developed interest in Krishna consciousness should give up all material motives and trains his mind by following the progressive regulative principles, namely chanting and remembering Shri Krishna and his name, form, quality, pastime, and so forth. In this way, after developing a taste for such things, one should try to live in Vrindavana and pass his time constantly remembering Krishna's name, fame, pastime, and qualities under the directions and protections of an expert devotee. This is the sum and substance of all instruction regarding the cultivation of devotional service. In the Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I will quickly explain what has been covered here. So first Prabhupada says, mind is your enemy, we all know, and how to make mind your friend? By becoming Krishna conscious. That way mind becomes your friend. You engage the mind in the service of Krishna instead of in the service of our senses. So that way the mind becomes our friend. And Krishna conscious movement, the aim is to train us to make our mind our own friends. Mind is a problem because it carries impressions for so many lifetimes. And these impressions are constantly working inside and producing thoughts. And we are running behind these thoughts. So how to overcome that? If you don't overcome, it's a big danger. Why? Krishna explains, whatever state of mind you remember at the time of death, that you will attain without fail. So at the time of death, whatever memory, strong impression is there, we will think of that and that will become our next body. So next body is decided at the point of our death, depending on our consciousness. We can say, no, I know this. So now when I die, I will think of Krishna or something nice. But it is not possible because it was explained by one devotee who returned from the verge of death. And they said, intelligence does not function at the time of death. You know, the working of mind is controlled by intelligence. We can tell our mind to think of this and not to think of that with the help of intelligence. If intelligence is strong, we can guide our mind suitably. But intelligence will not work at the time of death. That means mind is free from any control. And mind does nothing like right and wrong, good and bad. Mind simply says, I like it, I don't like it. Mind has only two functions: accepting, rejecting, accepting, rejecting. This is the only thing mind does. So at the time of death also, whatever strong desires were there, that will come out. And intelligence will not be there to control. So the mind will strongly think of its attachment and automatically get transferred to that place. So this is something we should remember. Our intelligence is active now. That's why one great devotee called Kulashekar, King Kulashekar from Kerala, he prayed like this. It's a very favorite song of Srila Prabhupada. Krishna Tvadiya Padapankaja Pancharandam Advaita Vishatume Manasa Raja Hamsam Prana Prayana Samaye Kapavada Pitta Kanta Varodana Vido Smaranam Kutaste. The king is praying, oh Krishna, now my mind and intelligence, everything is functioning properly. Now my mind is thinking of your lotus feet. Let me merge in you now. Because at the time of death, Kapha, Pitta, Vada, they will choke my throat and I won't be in control of my mind. So let me remember you now and merge my consciousness in your lotus feet. In your lotus feet. That's what he's praying. So he's telling the same thing. At the time of death, we are not in control. It is in Krishna's hands. But now we should prepare by constantly remembering Krishna. That is the point that Rupa Goswami is also telling in Bhakti Rasamrita Sandhu, how to develop that consciousness now. He says, you should always reside in the transcendental realm of Raja and always engage in Krishna Smaranam, remembrance of Krishna and his beloved associates. Then, by following in the footsteps of these devotees and associates, you can enter into the Goloka consciousness. So, then you will get the intense desire to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, what we need is that intense desire to serve the Supreme Personality. Then, when we die, we will remember that desire and we will be transferred to Goloka. At the time of death, if you have an intense desire to serve Krishna and his associates, you are transferred to Goloka. If you have desire for anything else, you are returned to this material creation. So that is the main point. And here, so Srila Rupa Goswami is advising us to train our mind now only, so that it will not think of anything other than Krishna. Tongue should be trained to speak only of Krishna and to taste only Krishna Prasadam. Please remember these points. Tongue should taste only Krishna Prasadam. And one should live in Vrindavana or any part of Rajabhumi. What is this Rajabhumi? It is what the place south of New Delhi, about 120 kilometers from there. There is a place called Mathura Vrindavan area. And Prabhupada says it is Vrajabhumi, 84 kroshas in area or 168 square kilometers. This is the entire spiritual world. Maybe today we don't have time. I won't discuss that in too much. But please realize there is spiritual world, which is 3 times the size of material world. Material world is not our world. Material creation. Material creation means unlimited number of universes. We are living in one of those universes where we have a 4-headed Brahma. He is the first creator, right? He is coming from the Garbhodakasai Vishnu, the lotus flower in that Brahma is sitting. So this is one universe. There are 14 planetary systems in one universe, like ours. And this universe is like a mustard seed in material creation. One universe is one mustard seed. And you imagine a huge bag full of mustard seeds. If you empty that bag, what will happen? There will be mustards everywhere. And one of those mustards will be our universe. There will be so many other mustards. That many material universes exist. But these material universes are only 1/4 of the Lord's Vibhuti expansion. The remaining 3/4 is in the spiritual worlds. In the spiritual worlds. That is where Lord's greatest Vibhutis are displayed. This is only a very ordinary 1/4 creation. So, but how is the spiritual world located within 164 square kilometer area of Vrindavan, of Rajabhumi? So this is the unspeakable power of Lord Krishna, Achintya Shakti, inconceivable power of the Lord. The same spiritual world, he is displaying it here in the material world. For those devotees who want to purify their heart and become a pure devotee of Krishna and go back home, back to Godhead, they can achieve it by coming to this Vrindavan, to this Vrajabhumi. It is non-different from the spiritual world by the mercy of Krishna. Spiritual world is unlimited compared to material creation. It is 3 times. But the whole spiritual world is in this 164 square kilometer area south of New Delhi. Break your head, you cannot understand how. You cannot understand. But this is the word of all acharyas and the Supreme Lord himself. By his mercy, he is giving us an opportunity to experience the entire spiritual world by coming to Vrindavan. That is why in this shloka it is recommended, go to Vrindavan, go to Vrajabhumi, live there under the guidance of a devotee. Constantly think of Krishna, speak of Krishna, remember Krishna, and deeply aspire to serve Krishna by following in the footsteps of those devotees who have that desire. So this is the message of Rupa Goswami. And by living in the transcendental realm of Vraja, one should serve the Supreme Lord with a feeling similar to that of his associates. How to cultivate that feeling? By staying in their association and learning from them. And Prabhupada again further says, both in the stage of sadhana, which is practice, and sadhya, which is perfection, both in the stage of practice and in the stage of perfection, we should do this only, which is to follow in the footsteps of the associates of Krishna and to serve. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati is also saying the same thing. If you have not yet developed interest in Krishna consciousness, you should give up all material motives and train the mind by following the regulative principles. Namely, chanting and remembering Krishna, his name, form, quality, pastimes, etc. constantly. This is the way to train our mind. And then we will develop a taste. By training, we will develop the taste. And then we should live in Vrindavan. When you have the taste, you should live in Vrindavan. When you don't have the taste, when you don't have the mood to serve the associates of Krishna, then we should just visit Vrindavan and come back. Not more than 2-3 days. And that too, we should go in the association of devotees for our own protection. Because we see Vrindavan with material eyes, we cannot see actually. We need spiritual eyes to see Vrindavan. But still, we have the desire, we should go in the association of devotees, we experience Vrindavan for a few days, we should come back and we should constantly remember what Vrindavan we saw, Govardhan, Shamakund, Radhakund, all these things we should remember. And we should remember the wonderful devotees, wonderful deities we saw in Vrindavan. We should constantly meditate on that. So finally we come to, in the neophyte stage, I am now continuing from where Mataji left, 87 page in my book. In the neophyte stage, these few things please note down in your notebook also. In the starting situation, we have to hear Krishna Katha constantly. And that is called Shravana Dasa. Shravana means hearing. So we are starting with Shravana Dasa, which means we should always engage in hearing Krishna Katha. Krishna Katha means either Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita is the Katha given by Krishna. Bhagavatam is the Katha about Krishna. We should hear both. And we can also hear Chaitanya Charitamrita. We should constantly hear. That is our beginning stage, Shravana Dasa. By doing this, what will happen? The desire to hear more and more will arise in our heart. The desire to hear more and more should arise, and we will not have desire to hear anything else. Like Parikshit Maharaj. He wanted to hear for 7 days and nights about Krishna. That desire will come. That is called Varana Dasha. Between Shravana Dasa, Varana Dasha, what is the difference? Shravana Dasa, you are voluntarily going to hear. Varana Dasha, you develop the keen desire to hear Krishna. There you are instructed and you are doing. In Varana Dasha, you have a taste and you are doing. That means your disease is getting cured. Your taste is arising. Varana Dasha. And you continue to hear Krishna. You become attached to Krishna Katha. Then you reach a stage called Smarana Avastha. That means now Krishna is taken residence in your heart, in your mind. Now you cannot think of anything else. You are only remembering Krishna. That is called Smarana Avastha. This is, you start chanting in ecstasy. In this stage of Smarana Avastha, you start chanting in ecstasy, and this is the stage of remembrance. Then what happens in remembrance? You recollect, you get absorbed, you meditate, and then you reach a state of constant remembrance, and then you reach trance called Samadhi. These are the 5 items of progressive Krishna Smarana. It's all Krishna Smarana, but progressive. What is the first stage? Recollecting whatever we have heard. We hear, we recollect. Then we become absorbed in those thoughts. Then we start meditating, Dhyana Avastha. We start meditating. Then our meditation becomes constant remembrance. Meditation, initially it will break, but constant remembrance, you never break in your meditation. Then you reach Samadhi, perfection. This is called Krishna Smarana. In the beginning, remembrance of Krishna is interrupted, but in later stage, there is uninterrupted remembrance. And in this situation, it's called Dhyana. And when Dhyana expands and becomes constant, it is called Anusmriti. Anusmriti means even if you are doing any other activity, there is remembrance of Krishna in the background. Like when Arjuna is fighting the war, he is constantly remembering Krishna. Krishna recommended this to Arjuna. Mam Anusmara Yudhyacha. That Anusmara is called Anusmriti here. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna told Arjuna, Mam Anusmara Yudhyacha. Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu, Mam Anusmara Yudhyacha. You constantly remember me and fight. And this is what we are told here. meditation expands and becomes constant. Whatever activity you are doing, Krishna is remembered. That's called Anusmriti. By uninterrupted and unceasing Anusmriti, one enters into Samadhi or spiritual trance. After Smarana Dasha or Samadhi is fully developed, so this is Smarana Dasha. When it is fully developed, the soul understands its original constitutional position. You remember I spoke about Nitya Dharma, eternal service of Krishna, Nitya Dharma. So that is what it is. You come to the original constitutional position. That means the soul has a form in the spiritual world. You come to know it. When Smarana Dasha is perfected, you come to know, who am I in the spiritual world? Am I a man? Am I a woman? Am I a cow? Am I a parrot? Am I a Kalpavriksha tree? What is my name? Who are my parents? What is my service to Krishna? What kind of dress do I wear? How do I speak? What are my mannerisms? Everything you will come to know. That is called original constitutional position. The soul attains its original constitutional position. Understand. At that time, he can perfectly and clearly understand his eternal relationship with Krishna. You will know whether I am a friend of Krishna, whether I am a elder with Vatsalya Rasa to Krishna, or I am a cow or a garland of Krishna in Shantarasa. All these things you will come to know. Then finally, last paragraph, Chaitanya Charitamrita advises, this is called Sampatti Dasa. This is final. First we saw Shravana Dasa, Varana Dasha, Smarana Dasha. Now we are coming to Sampatti Dasha. Sampatti Dasha is complete perfection when you realize who you are in the spiritual world and your relationship with Krishna. So this is the progressive stages of Krishna consciousness. Final paragraph, Chaitanya Charitamrita advises those who are neophytes to give up all kinds of motivated desire and simply engage in regulative devotional service. According to rules and regulations, you have to do bhakti as instructed by Srila Prabhupada and by your spiritual master of the Lord according to directions of scripture. In this way, neophyte will gradually develop attachment for Krishna's name, fame, form, etc. And then he will start spontaneously serving. So here you realize, first we follow rules and regulations and perform bhakti. But gradually you develop attachment to Krishna. Then the bhakti is called Raga Bhakti. First it is called Vaidhi Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti means we don't have natural attraction to Krishna. We are following rules given by Guru and serving Krishna. That is Vaidhi Bhakti. But Vaidhi Bhakti will mature into Raga Bhakti. Then you will spontaneously be attracted to serve Krishna. That is Raga Bhakti. That Raga Bhakti will be in the mood of one of the Vrajavasis. One of the Vrajavasis. Automatically you will be attracted to one of the Vrajavasis in Krishna Leela. And you will want to serve in that bhava. Okay, this is called Raga Bhakti. These are all very advanced stages. We are now in the stage of Vaidhi Bhakti. We should follow the rules strictly and serve Krishna in that mood. But we should aspire for Raga Bhakti. We should aspire to know our original constitutional relationship with Krishna. In that aspiration, we should follow the rules and perform Vaidhi Bhakti. I hope I am clear. That higher stage is called Raga Bhakti. In that stage, one will follow in the footsteps of one of the eternal associates of Krishna. We saw some names earlier, Lalita, Vishaka, etc. Or is it going to come now? Okay, it will come now. That is called Raga Anuga Bhakti. You are following in the footsteps of someone who has natural attraction for Krishna. By following in their footsteps, you will develop the same natural attraction. So first you will get Shantarasa. Now we are coming to the concept of rasa. So in your original constitutional position, you may be in Shantarasa, which means you will become one of Krishna's cows, or the stick or flute in the hand of Krishna, or the flowers around Krishna's neck. That is called Shantarasa. In a higher rasa, Dasya rasa, one can follow in the footsteps of servants like Chitraka, Patraka, Rathaka. They are all servants of Krishna. In a higher level, you become a friend, Sakhya rasa. You will become a friend like Baladeva, Sridama, Sudama. They are the friends of Krishna. In an even higher stage, you may come to Vatsalya rasa. You will have parental affection to Krishna, just like Nanda Maharaja or Yashoda. You will not become Nanda Maharaja or Yashoda, but you will become a person who has the same love towards Krishna like Nanda Maharaja or Yashoda. They are eternal positions They are already occupied by pure souls. We will be like them. We will have the mood like Nanda, like Yashoda, like that. And ultimately in Madhurya Rasa, characterized by conjugal love, one can become like, not become Radharani, become like Srimati Radharani or her lady friends such as Lalita and her serving maids, Manjaris like Rupa and Rati. This is the Upadesha Saram, essence of instruction in the matter of devotional service. So with this, you have completed this shloka. If you have any doubts, you can ask for the next 5 minutes. Then we will go into next shloka. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
In this verse, they say, no, Antakalecha mameva smaran mukta kalevara. So Krishna says the thought should be on Krishna or Guru. If we remember Guru at that time of death, will we be able to reach? Huh?
Perfect. 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 By remembering Guru, you will please Krishna even more.
Or anybody like the devotees of the Lord.
Yeah.
Like
If you can remember Prabhupada, nothing like it. It's perfection. Or if you remember Tulsi Maharani, or if you remember Sridama, Sudama, or Lalita, or Vishaka, or Rupa Manjari, Rati Manjari, that's perfection. It's all in the spiritual world. Actually, spiritual world, everybody is qualitatively one with Krishna. They have the same powers of Krishna. They have the same form as Krishna. It's all the same. So that's perfect.
And Prabhuji, one more doubt, Prabhuji. The super soul residing with us, does that super soul know about only our body, or does it know about the complete, like just like Krishna, Prabhuji?
There is only one super soul. How do you understand this? There is no my super soul and your super soul. There is only one super soul.
Yes, sir.
Supposing you keep 10 parts of water under the moon, you will see a moon in every pot. Correct?
Yes, sir.
But they are not 10 moons.
Yes, Prabhuji. Very
one moon only. So the same Lord is reflecting within the hearts of everyone. The Supreme Lord knows everything which is happening. The Virat Rupa is the soul of the universe. The soul of the universe. Vishwatma. One Atma only. He appears to be divided among so many souls. So he knows everything. Is it clear, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, very much understood, Prabhuji, because some other Mataji asked today in the class, Prabhuji. So you gave a very nice example so that we all could understand.
One Atma. Actually, for all the universes together, there is one soul, and that is called Mahavishnu. Then for our universe, there is one soul. He is called Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. And for every individual, there is one soul, that is Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. And all these are same personality.
Just like Krishna, Prabhuji, or because Krishna, below Krishna, these expansions come now?
They are not below Krishna. They are all expansions of Krishna. They are all Krishna only.
Krishna only. Okay.
They are all called expansions of Krishna. Plenary expansions of Krishna. For particular purpose, they display particular energies. That's all. It's all Krishna. They display. They are called Swa Amsa, expansions of the Lord. The Lord himself expands. They are all called Vishnu Tattva. They are all the same. Is it clear, Mataji?
Yes,
there is no distinction between them. They are all one and the same.
They are all one.
For the purpose of rasa, we make distinction. If you want to enjoy Vatsalya rasa, not possible with Vishnu. If you want Sakhya rasa, not possible with Vishnu. If you want Madhurya rasa, only Mahalakshmi. You cannot have Madhurya rasa. It's all possible only with Krishna. That's why we say Krishna is Purna Purushottam.
Will it be an offense, Prabhuji?
Sorry?
Sorry, Prabhuji. Sorry for the interruption.
No, go on.
Will it be an offense, Prabhuji, like if we think in that way, like Sakhya Bhava with Vishnu?
It is not possible only, no. Where is Vishnu surrounded by friends? No, that is a unique feature of Krishna only. Krishna is the only one who is surrounded by devotees always. In Vishnu, the service is always in Dasya Bhava. Maximum, it's all Dasya. Very rarely there may be. I don't know. It's all Dasa. He is master, I am servant. That is a mood with Vishnu. Aishwarya Bhav. With Krishna only, you are eligible to have Dasya Bhav, Satya Bhav, Vatsalya Bhav, Madhurya Bhav, everything. You can have Krishna as your husband. You can also have Krishna as your lover. It's possible. Only with Krishna it's all possible. Not with Vishnu. So one will not have that mood with Vishnu. Yes, Andal Nachiyar, I don't know. She has this amazing mood. She's Bhuma Devi. She is the eternal consort of the Lord. She came as Andal and she sings those amazing songs of love, a conjugal love with Vishnu. But other than that, we don't see anyone else. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, what about Mirabai?
Yeah, Mirabai is attracted to Krishna or Vishnu? I don't know.
Krishna.
Krishna is
Yes.
fine.
Fine. Oh, yes.
Krishna accommodates all rasas.
Okay.
That's why he's called Akila Rasa Amrita Murti. Akila Rasa Amrita Murti. He accommodates all rasas. So if you want only Dasya Rasa, maybe Vishnu will satisfy you. But if you want aspiration for higher, then it's all Krishna. Even Dasya Rasa, you will get greater joy or bliss with Krishna than you will have with Vishnu. But Vishnu is not different from Krishna. So let there be no confusion on that. Okay, it's all Achintya. It is the same Krishna, expanded everywhere. Is it okay? Ghosh Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, I have one doubt.
Yeah.
In this sloka, we have read that residing in Vrindavana or Broja.
Yeah.
Does it mean physically residing there, or by following all these, we acquire that mental or spiritual state of residing wherever we are, in our mind, that Braja appears, something like that?
If your heart is helplessly pulled by Vrindavan, what you will do? You will run there.
Okay.
As of now, our heart is not pulled like that.
Okay.
So we may go there along with devotees for 2-3 days and pray to Vrindavan, please reveal yourself to me, so that I will become attracted to stay in your shelter. Right? That is possible. Yeah.
Right.
It is the entire spiritual world, actually. Unfortunate that we don't have the attraction, because our spiritual eyes are not open. We see it like any other piece of land. Like somebody says, I bought a flat in Vrindavan. Can we buy a flat in Vrindavan? It's a spiritual world. If I can buy a flat in the spiritual world, I will buy definitely. So this is a material consciousness. People with material consciousness cannot enter Vrindavan. Even though they may desire, they cannot. So we have to understand this distinction. Rupa Goswami is talking about the highest level, where go there and serve in Radha Kund. That is the highest realization. So let us understand that we are not yet qualified at that level. We are in the stage of Vaidhi Bhakti. We are following the rules given by the scripture. But one day we will develop attraction to Krishna. When that attraction grows, you will run towards Vrindavan and you will not want to leave Vrindavan. Prabhupada left Vrindavan. Yes. Can somebody say a few words about Prabhupada and Vrindavan? Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji,
Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada has Vrindavan in his heart itself. Prabhuji.
Yes.
So
But
he need
Prabhupada
not.
lived there also, right?
Yes. Sir. Even at the time of leaving his body, also he wanted to go there and leave his body at Vrindavan. But later, upon the request of his disciples, he stayed there.
He went to London. And again he came back to Vrindavan. He left his body in Vrindavan only. His actual samadhi is in Vrindavan only. In the same temple, in Krishna Balaram temple. Prabhupada's samadhi is there. He left his body in Vrindavan. But even though he was staying in Vrindavan for more than a decade, writing his Bhagavatam book, he left to America because of the order of his guru. He took the risk. What if I die outside Vrindavan? He wanted to always die in Vrindavan only. But still he executed the order of his guru. He traveled all over the world in that advanced age, took big risks. In the ship only, he suffered from heart attacks. But still, Krishna pulled him back to Vrindavan. He came back to Vrindavan. I'm very sick. I want to be here. Again, he went out and preached. Again, he came back in 77, back to Vrindavan. Again, he left to London. But they saw he was only skin and bones. But still, he wanted to preach. But then he went to London and said, no, no, no. He gave classes there, but then he returned to Vrindavan. There only he died. And hours or days before dying, he expressed a desire. I wanted to go Govardhan Parikrama. Please take me in a bullock cart around Govardhan. These are all things, if you read, you will cry and cry and cry. His devotees started crying. They said, Prabhupada, there is only skin and bones in your body. How much pain you will endure? You will die in the Parikrama. Why you want to go? But Prabhupada said, this is my desire. You disciples, you must execute my desire. Immediately some devotees organized a bullock cart and they said, yes, we have to execute the desire of Prabhupada. Other devotees were arguing, no, 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 Prabhupada may want to go, but how can we allow him to go? He will die. We don't want him to suffer pain and die like that. Great debate was going on. Then Prabhupada laughed and smiled and he told his friends, his god brothers, he told, look how much my devotees, disciples love me. How much my disciples love me. So this is the success of a devotee. To fall in love with spiritual master. The spiritual master becomes dearer than one's own life. Prabhupada demonstrated that. Prabhupada finally said, no, okay, I will not go. If you don't want me to suffer like that, I will not. But Prabhupada had that intense desire to perform Govardhan Parikrama. And he said, if I die on the path, how glorious it will be. Prabhupada said like that.
Excuse me, Prabhuji, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
He used to have a beautiful garden where he used to visualize Vaikunta. And there he used to sit and chant the mala, Srila Prabhupada. I read somewhere, Prabhuji, in Vrindavan.
Vaikunta is a little unusual.
I read it. That's what I'm asking. No, that garden, it was visualized as Vaikunta for he visualized.
I'm sorry, my charge is 1%. I did not.
Okay, Prabhuji, okay.
So anytime I will be gone. But I think we have done justice for today's session. Maybe 9th shloka we will take up in next week. Okay. There is a huge distance between Vaikunta and Prabhupada. Not that there's no place for him, but he loves Krishna in a different mood. His love for Krishna is in the Vraja mood. So, yes, many of the associates in Vraja, they have their expansions in Vaikunta also. But they will not meditate on Vaikunta.
Okay.
But anyway, Vaikunta includes Goloka also. Vaikunta is a broad name.
Okay.
Goloka is part of Vaikunta, but it is the highest.
Okay.
It's all called here. The entire spiritual world is called Vaikunta.
Okay.
So it includes Goloka also. But we should not say Prabhupada is meditating on Vaikunta. When somebody says meditating on Vaikunta, we should understand he is meditating on that part of Vaikunta which is called Goloka.
Okay, Prabhuji. I read it. I don't know whether the fact is true or not.
Yeah, our entire tradition, our Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition is Krishna and Braja.
Okay.
There's no room for Vaikunta. If you want Vaikunta, you should follow Sri Sampradaya.
Okay.
Yes, which is Ramanuja Sampradaya.
Okay.
That will connect to
Sri Sampradaya. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam. Thank
A
you.
wonderful session, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
The heart.
Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Dandavat
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.